Hey, I'm taking a break from just playing the guitar right now. Something I love to do. It's just a hobby. I'm not the greatest, but I really enjoy it. But I really want to talk about just basic intelligence and basic intellect and basic common sense, especially with all this that's going on in the world right now that basically has people losing their minds with this thing that's supposedly going around the world, causing all these problems. Yeah, so what I was getting at is we basically lost our minds. I mean, we've almost become dumb. What we're believing, what we're watching on TV, and what we're hearing, and we're believing this stuff. We're getting reports from you can ask probably 50 different people about this virus thing going around, and you'll get 50 different answers, 50 different sets of data, 50 different statistics. I mean, it's mind-boggling, and people just are believing it no matter what, and they will rather say, oh, I'd rather believe that than for you to say this is not true, which I find shocking. You will believe 50 different people talking about something, and they have given you different information from each person before you would say, okay, I don't believe any of it. That's bizarre. And if I get conflicting reports and data about something, wait, I'm not going to believe anything. And especially something like this has never happened before in world history. People say, oh yes, it did. We 100 years ago there was this type of incident, this type of fever, whatever. They never shut down the whole world like that. You know, and even the data, it came from newspaper reporters, and they estimated everything. So don't believe that. And there was no mass media spreading this information that's basically scaring the public right now with a bunch of information that is hardly been proven. And of course, back then there wasn't. So people just went about their lives, and we would be doing the exact same things right now if it weren't for, the mass media and computers. They talk about the data of this and what it does to you. This thing has been studied. The data is there. You know, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor, but the data has been there, and they're trying to make it out to be worse than what it really is, just so you can keep watching it. They want you to keep watching, so they got to make it to be worse and worse. And the more you keep watching, the more stories they're going to tell you about things on people, with these mass graves and these people in these crazy outfits, running around carrying people in stretchers and ambulances everywhere, which if you go to any hospital or anywhere near you, you will not see anything like that. But we watch it on TV and we believe it. You know, Truckloads filled with people who have passed away, truckloads, and you will not believe how many people believe it. I mean, we're talking about most people, and if you ask them for evidence, you get nothing. They'll say, oh, we heard reports, and that's all they need. Forget about what is being reported. When anybody who has any symptoms, or feels a little sick, or anybody that passes away, it's boom, it's automatic, caused by that rogue thing that came from China. Think about you know quarantining and social distancing and all of these things and wearing these things over your faces. You know, that's unnecessary. That's not how human beings are supposed to live. It's not good for adults. It's not good for children. We're supposed to be outside. We're supposed to be hugging. We're supposed to be kissing. We're supposed to be embracing, sitting together, eating together, touching each other. And that's how it's always been. And no one's supposed to make you believe that things have to change now. Things are different now, which was what we're hearing. It's not true. Things are not different. There's no crisis. We're all okay. You know, you can if you're young, you can go out and play football with your friends just like we did 30, 40 years ago. I can go out and play the guitar on the street, and shake hands with people and work together and be in schools. It's nothing has changed. Don't let, I don't know what the agenda is, but I do know that they're making a lot of money. They have to be making tons of money off of this, and with advertising. Again, I don't know, but somebody's making big bucks off of this because they know that there's no way plausible that all this is really true. And people with intellect, and again, like this is a world of free speech, especially in a lot of countries. It's about freedom of speech, and we should be able to talk about this. And we're not saying that what we're saying is 100% fact, or this is fact, or this is fact, but we should be able to question things. And why is that not being allowed? For some reason, I've never heard that, and it's scary that we're not being allowed to question things. I mean, scary pictures and mountainsides and truckloads and mass graves, and we can't even question it, see if it's real. It's time of crisis. Everyone's saying it's not a time of crisis. We're okay. It's just you got to change your mind and think. The intellectual person realize nothing's changed. Have some fun. Go out and ignore it. You'll be okay. And I just wish that we can get more people and talk about this and share this information about intellectual thought about this, and that let's get back to the way things have always been for millions of years, and not just let these computers and these new types of media tell us that things are not normal, because it's not. Please, I mean, I'm at a loss of words because I'm trying to speak at random, but I just wish people would get back to normal and understand that this is not the norm. We're supposed to be out and about and friends and hanging out and touching and hugging and kissing, just like I said. And I know it's tough to talk about. Some people are fixated on what they want to believe, and they won't even look at anyone who thinks differently, because it's almost like it's like a robotic trance, and if you're not following in line with that robotic trance, something's wrong with you. And I wish we could turn it off of people's brains and start teaching them, look at what's out there, look at other data, and just use basic intellect, basic intelligence. You ask people how long you want to be in the house and away from people. I don't know. Until I feel safe. What kind of answer is that? Until you feel safe. Like I've heard that the magical unicorn is going to come and take this thing away, and people are going to wait for that magical unicorn. I mean, really? I mean, we don't want to live in a worldwide prison. It's not how we should live. We're supposed to be enjoying life and traveling, getting on planes, visiting new places, and meeting new people. Closing borders for this? Really? You take some medicine, you stay in bed, and you feel better. And what they're talking about, other people, they're most likely pre-existing conditions. I don't want to get into that because people will start saying that I think I'm a doctor, which I think is mind-boggling. It's just common sense. This is not how we want to live. Fearing everybody and thinking that just getting near someone is going to make your hair start falling out and your arms and limbs start falling off. People in remote places of the world, in the most remote places and villages and islands, immediately. And I know that we have jets and ships and corporate jets that can fly, and transport people at speeds never before seen, but not like this. It's come on, it's implausible. We're talking about what, in weeks or whatever, and there's every place on the planet, every corner of the planet screaming, "Oh, I got it!" And there's a such thing called placebo, where, and it's almost like a fascination. When you're fascinated with something, you almost believe it's real, no matter how unrealistic it is. Just the fascination with it, So everyone's fascinated by it. They want to say, "Oh, I know someone who has this thing," or, I have it now all of a sudden. And it's like, do you really expect, me to believe that? You look perfectly fine. Oh no, I have that. But that's what you're hearing now. That's what we're hearing now. So, uh, let's forget the placebo and the media. Are you being role models? Media, you know, putting this out there every day, and then trying to scare some a scarier image, a scarier story the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and you could go to any place or any hospital and not see that stuff anywhere. No, it's not even possible. And labeling someone as being having this rogue virus thing. Everybody has it. You think that is it possible? You expect us to believe that? Everybody has it all of a sudden. Everybody. Yeah. So I don't want to ramble too much, but just use intellectual thoughts, rational thoughts, common sense. Don't let this be the new norm. Go out, play, kiss, hug. Your kids go out. Take off the things on your faces, and let's open up the world again and keep it open and not fall for something like this, in the future, and not let this happen again. This is depressing, and I know it's depressing for a lot of people, and we don't deserve this. Okay. All right. And feel free to leave some comments, and share it. I want that, and I'm gonna keep playing my guitar. So